Second month came and he called me. He's like, hey, actually, we haven't done good since 2021. I used to get 50 patients a month, 50 new patients a month. Now I'm struggling to get 5, 10. It would be great. I really need to get these updated. And I'm like, and I knew it. That's the thing. The thing is, like, I looked at it. I was like, there's no way this is generating, because a telltale sign is.
Welcome back to the Detailing Business Class podcast, where you'll learn proven tactics and strategies on sales, marketing, and operations to grow your business. I'm your host, Oscar Gill, and my goal is to elevate you as a detailer and business owner to the next level. In this episode, you're going to see us talk through developing a marketing strategy and how we would implement it to increase more leads and sales. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to just see how we would kind of go through the steps and what we ask and what we try to do to grow a business. We're going to talk about Google Ads, and then we're going to talk about search engine optimization. This is a jam-filled episode. You're going to learn a lot. And if you want to see the whole process on how we've grown our business to over $10,000 per month, then you can sign up for the free training by going to detailclass.com, or just click the link in the show notes, or if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description box, and you can sign up for the free training. Other than that, let's get started with this awesome episode. All right, so today we're going to have a marketing strategy with Cesar from Symphony Advertising. We're going to have, let's say we have a business, call it HVAC. No, call it landscaping. Call it HVAC, right? Let's call it HVAC. We have an HVAC business that wants to, as every client and individual and business owner that says, I want more customers, I want more revenue, right? So you will take the Google Ads approach in terms of the strategy that you will implement to get more customers and make more money for the HVAC company. And then I will see through, and I'll have the strategy on the SEO side. All right. So you are the paid strategist, and I am the organic strategist. Now, let's say right now it's only a team of call it four people, whatever, 4 people, right? 4 people. They have, let's just stop right there. 4 people, HVAC services, which is heating, ventilation, air conditioning. Right. So we'll start with there. What's the first thing that you do when someone contacts you from let's call this HVAC business owner? How do you look at it through a paid strategy, Google Ads specifically? Yeah. What do you do?
Super simple. I ask, what would you like to happen? That's my first question. And generally it goes back to your point. They're like, well, we'd like to get more customers. We would just like to get more customers, something like that. Mm-hmm. And then my question is, okay, well, what kind of service would you want more of? Because there's a lot of low-hanging fruit that's not worth doing a lot of. So in HVAC, that might be like a AC check or AC audit. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what their low-hanging fruit is. Or like, I don't know, like a coolant change or something. Yeah. Not worth it for them. So they're not going to want to spend it. So then they'll say, we want a new installs. And so then from there, it's like, okay, you want to do new installs? What areas do you service? Then they'll say, okay, we'll do everything. And then we'll do all of Texas because we're willing to. We'll do an 80-mile radius because we're willing to drive out there. Okay. And then I'll ask them, okay, well, what is your budget? We have $1,500. And then I'll say, okay, well, 80 miles, that's a little too big. With $1,500 a month, it's better to be focused in a specific area than it is to be focused in a broad area. Just not enough cheese to go around. Yeah. Then this is the conversation part, but I also need to figure out, well, what does it cost to even advertise in that space, specifically for that service? So if I go to my tools and I look up, okay, they want to do new installs, new HVAC installs, new AC installation, new AC repair, and then whatever brands they are, do the keyword research. Okay, these keywords cost between $4 to $8, let's say, which is probably not true. It's probably more like 10 to 15. Yeah. Then I can say, okay, well, hey, $1,500, you can expect 100 clicks per month. Mm-hmm. Nothing's going to happen, dude. Like, that's not going to work. Yeah. So then I would say, okay, look, that strategy with that budget is probably not going to work. I usually default to say, okay, let's just go up for the term in general, because someone might look up HVAC services, HVAC company near me. We don't know exactly what they're looking for, but we know they're looking for what you provide. And so you kind of play we'll get something out of it.
Yeah.
And so that would literally be process step 1 through 4 or 5. But after that initial talk, I have to look at, well, what does your site look like? What do your offerings look like?
Yeah.
Are you guys competitive in pricing? Are you guys up here? Are you guys down
Yeah.
here? Sometimes they'll offer like Train and, like the brands that are well known. But some companies that can't get in that network, they have to offer like chafas, stuff people don't know about, stuff that breaks, stuff that isn't like good quality.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Yeah.
or they're like refurbished. Yeah, we go to the junkyard, we put it back together,
yeah.
as an example.
Yeah.
Then it's like, shit, it's a different story. So it's really finding out what would they like to happen, what their budget is, what their area is, and what is actually something we can expect with those given criteria.
Okay, yeah. So that's good. We'll touch on a few things on there. So on the SEO side, yes, on that one, what I would do is I would just look at what their and again, this is just like a made up example. Once you actually talk to the individual, you start to kind of route where everything's going. But for me, I would look at so again, it starts with keyword research as well, of saying what's the most popular. So I'm gonna match up the most popular. I'm gonna look at the keyword research and see, just rank what's being searched for, right? And the keyword. So the way we find the keyword research is, do you go to inside Keyword Planner or do you use SEMrush?
SEMrush. It's just faster.
Yeah. So for me, I'll be using Google Keyword Planner, Google Ads Keyword Planner, and I'll go in there and I'll just see what's the monthly searches. So I'll look at, again, HVAC near me, HVAC, whatever, heating installation, heating repair, whatever, and see what are the keywords. Just get the whole list of what it is, and then I will kind of cross-reference that with talking to the individual and saying, hey, so what are your most popular services? What services do you like? What services do you want more of? What services do you not want more of? Which ones make you the most money? Just kind of get a grasp for what they specifically want, and then I will see how you can align those two together. So maybe we should just use detailing, but it's like, for instance, for detailers, right? Let's say someone wants, hey man, I want more ceramic coatings, right? I want my shop filled with ceramic coatings, and you go into the keyword planner and you look at the search volume, 20 searches a month. No matter how well you rank, whatever, your phone's not gonna blow up with ceramic coating just because the sheer number is not there. Doesn't mean that there's not there. I'm just saying, again, going back to aligning, is like, hey, we want to cover the whole 80-mile radius of this area. It's like, well, if you're trying to spend $1,500 a month, one, you're covering too wide of an area. Like you're being you're fragmenting your ad spend instead of just like hyper located to one area. So even though there's not much volume in there, you can still get customers, just not to the degree that you think is going to happen, right? So it's like managing expectations. But then two, it's like, well, what's the process look like? Like, for instance, for sure we can directly target that specific keyword, right? So it's like, let's say detailers, ceramic coating, right? But if that isn't getting a lot of search volume, is there another way that you can funnel them into that specific keyword, that specific service? So basically, what is it going to look like? What's the more top of funnel keyword, right? So if someone is specifically, like for HVAC, if someone is specifically looking for like something super super niche of like some specific brand or whatever, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, there's more like 5 searches a month for that, but you could start with like a free HVAC estimate or free, whatever the case may be, right? Like at the most highest level, like, and then from there, it is your job as a business to have the proper customer service, experience to say, okay, well, hey, if I'm here for this inspection or whatever, oh, hey, by the way, do you need whatever, right? So same thing with here. It's like, okay, so like getting people in for like a car wash as a detailer, the likely chance of them also wanting ceramic coating very low, just because those things they typically just want like a $15 wash. But if you bring them in for a higher ticket service of, let's call it like whatever, like a all-in-one polish or paint correction or even just like a wash and wax, the chances of them being somewhat interested in a higher tiered service is much higher, just because they're already booking with you for a higher tiered service. So I would look at them and say, okay, well, we might not be able to directly target that keyword to match what you want, but what else can we do in your business to move the pieces around to make sure that we're optimizing, so like we can upsell or cross sell that specific service. And as you guys just heard, the listeners, is that like we immediately went to it's no longer just about the marketing, right? Because you just said like, we'll have to look at their business, their offering, their services, their pricing, like what kind of product they're offering. Because then it's no longer just about oh no, we'll just run ads, man. Just spend more money. Just get it quickly goes away from that, because that can only get you. It's important because in the wrong hands, $1,500 a month can get you. Break down a bad. For instance, break down a bad example of keyword, like that recent client that the dentist one.
Yeah. So, oh my God. Yeah. So great budget. Budget's not an issue here.
As far as ad spend. Yes. As far as how much money they're actually spending per day, per month, it is.
At the time it was $25,000.
$25,000 a month. How much is that a day?
I have no idea.
I did my
like 800.
A little under 1,000. Yeah. So call it 700. It's like 800. Yeah, it's like 800. Imagine $800 a day. That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot for anyone. So that is a lot of. Granted, there's like companies out there spending like 6 figures a day. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's a small business. Like it's a single practice.
And I know you guys are hearing this, and you're like, "That's a small business spending $800 a day." Like most of us, these aren't even hitting those numbers. But yes. But what I'm saying is that is a small business. That's a lot of money though. Whichever way you look at it, if they consistently spend that per year, per month. You're looking at 300,000, 200, 250. Well, yeah. 275. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah, you're
it's a lot of cheese.
Now, break it down on how it was so badly set up.
So, client came to me. He says like, "Hey, I'm looking for a new ads person. Can you help?" It's like, "Sure." I looked at it. From my feedback, I asked, "Well, how are the ads performing? This is an abnormally large amount of money. I don't know if I want to take this on because honestly, they pay like low. Like they're trying to go low. It's very common among the dental community." And I was like, okay. He said it's going well. It's more about just management. Just more like make sure things are running. The campaigns are good. I don't have to do anything. It's just monitoring and making sure when something breaks or unlinks or an ad extension goes down, fix it. Something like that. That's actually common. Like, I'm not really doing a lot of work. I'm just making sure it's running. So he was on for a month. Then the second month came and he called me. He's like, "Hey, actually we haven't done good since 2021. I used to get 50 patients a month, 50 new patients a month. Now I'm struggling to get 5, 10. It would be great. I really need to get these updated." And I'm like, and I knew it. That's the thing. The thing is like, I looked at it. I was like, there's no way this is generating, because a telltale sign is, there's Google search, which means when you go to google.com and look up dentist near me, your ad pops up. Then there's search partners where you don't get it from google.com. You get it from Ask Jeeves. You get it from the Houston Chronicle. You get it from the New York Times, and their search engine uses Google. So that is search partners. And then you ask the question, why the hell would somebody go to the Houston Chronicle and look up dentist near me? That makes zero sense. And the display network, but that's not as bad. And so 80 to 90% of all their clicks within the last year were all going to search partners. So in my head, it's like, so who are the people clicking this? I don't know anybody who searches that way. Number one. Number two, break down the ad groups and you see, well, what are the type of keywords that are coming here? Literally, they had an ad campaign that said dentist in India, dentist in China, dentist in Mexico, dentist in Spain. And I guess the idea is, if someone is looking for a dentist outside the country in Houston, I want them to see my ad. I guess you could. But see, as the consultant, I would say, that's stupid, sir. Yeah. I wouldn't tell that to a client, but that's stupid, because if they want to go to Mexico to get their teeth done, they're going to go to Mexico to teeth done. You don't want to be in the business of convincing. Like, we're just connecting dots.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Go on, yeah.
You just want to connect the dots. Someone's looking for a dentist in Houston. We just want to connect you. We're not going to try to convince someone looking for cheaper services outside of the country to click on your ad and your staff magically sells them on, you know what? Come get our 10,999 implants here with us. So that was bad. And then there's like a whole slew of things that like the website was built in HTML. That means the website has been around for ever. Then there was 2 domains. There was the business name domain, and then there was a abbreviated version of the business name. But there's nothing wrong with having 2 domains pointing at one website. These were 2 domains with 2 different websites with the exact same content, which tells you that A, nobody knows what they're doing, and 2, That's like a huge red flag. That's why sometimes I think like, is it true that Google penalizes you? That is the most penalizing thing you can do, and yet it was not penalized.
Yeah.
So that is my rant about things that were not set up well. Then you look at it and you're like, how's it doing it? And it turns out it's not.
Yeah. So to that point, the previous agency or whoever, first probably like one single dude that was doing it. Yeah, like assuming that they were still spending $20,000-$25,000 a month, that budget, although it's like a fantastic budget. And again, on the what's the cost per click on those?
You can manipulate it, bro. That's the problem.
On the what you saw on the
so
on,
it was good. It was
no on SEMrush, like what was the forward facing like cost per click?
So they want dental implants. Therefore, they're actually not that expensive. They're like $4 to $6.
Oh damn!
But it's a lie. Because it's how you manipulate it. If you make it a broad match keyword, it's going to be much more cheaper or more affordable. If you make it a exact match keyword, which is what we made them, they're going to cost $13, $15, $20.
Yeah. So real quick on that one, when he's saying cost per click, that means how much it costs for if someone clicks on your ad by that. It's a bid for that keyword, and if someone clicks on that specific ad, you will pay $13 for an exact match keyword on that specific ad. If it's a general, which it'd be like dentist Houston, then that one would be like $4.
So why were they $2 to $3 in this man's account? It's because the number one keyword that was being used was something called screw in teeth, which it is a term, but that's just one tooth. They wanted to focus on full arches.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you're telling me it's working? I literally had him on the phone. I sent him a screenshot. I'm like, look, you're getting like 80% of your budget is being spent on screw in teeth.
Yeah.
And then you look at the search term, it's all screw tooth, screw in teeth, screw. He's like, well, that's definitely not what we want. I was like, so it's not working. Just tell me it's not working. And at that point, I have all the leverage.
Yeah.
So from that side, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. I'm going to get fired because I'm going to change it. I don't care anymore. Yeah. I'm not going to like sit there and just, okay, sir, it's working. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But to your point, like, it may look like it is, it's not.
Yeah, and on that one, like I said, like whoever was doing it before, they were getting clicks and such, but the conversion on that, on like it being actually high quality leads, and they converted those into actual patients, like bar none. But I'm saying that same budget under proper hands of yours, and you're fixing everything. Now the quality of leads, the number of leads, the conversion of those leads go up dramatically. Same budget, same everything. I'm saying just by having a proper campaign set up is a big deal. So on that one, exactly. So and for like on SEO purposes, for the I guess we'll talk about that. No, HVAC. Well, let's say the HVAC person had two websites. On that one, So on that one, it's not that Google penalizes. For instance, like they won't slap your website and be like, "Hey, we're taking your website off."
Do it for the dental.
Off the organic. Okay, so let's say the dental. Anyways, it doesn't say that they won't get like slapped saying, "Hey, your website is taken off." One, it's probably not even ranking to begin with, right? So it's like it's probably not even like a thing for Google to be like, whatever. But if it were, it would just kind of like whenever there's duplicate content to that degree, the problem because you're gonna cannibalize one over the other, right? So like if there's so let's say for instance on one single website, if there's two pages that look hyper identical, let's say like one for one they're identical. Well, now like Google has to say, okay, well, which one is the right page that I actually want to show? When I say cannibalize, I mean like, okay, I'm gonna kill this one to show this one, or kill this one to show this one. So you are competing against your own website to say which one do you actually show, and it will choose one over the other, right? So that's why you don't want duplicate content on your website. But if there's two websites, I would imagine it like one doesn't. You're not gonna get dinged of like you have not been removed from from Google forever. It would just not have to battle like, okay, which one is the right site? But if they're both crappy and they're not optimized, I don't think like nothing will happen because
it's not on the radar.
There's nothing there. Yeah,
it's like IRS. Like, oh, he got away with $1,000. Like that's not a big deal.
Maybe,
but if you take 100,000 million, it's like, oh, that guy's a problem.
Yeah, to that degree. Yeah, so it's like I don't think in that specific case, if it's like how old it is. I think I saw the website, how ugly it was too. Like you can just tell it's like very outdated. I don't think it was a big deal.
We just did a Squarespace WordPress episode.
Uh-huh.
Like that was HTML.
Yeah. Way far behind.
Like,
yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and I would say on that one, if it's two domains too, well, yeah. If it's not ranking, it's just not solely gonna do well. And again, that goes back to another thing of like, how many other pieces you have to put in place in order for your website and your marketing and your business to do well. Because again, what was it? Was it on the landing page, like on their website, or was it just their homepage?
Their homepage.
Yeah, okay, so, which is fine.
What are you talking about?
For the ads that they were running.
Oh, no. It was some were going to the homepage, some were going to the
Specific service, yeah.
page.
Which isn't bad. But what's bad is like if it's not mobile optimized, and it's crazy to even say that because all platforms now are mobile optimized. But if it's like HTML, so old school, it might not have mobile optimized.
Honestly,
it probably wasn't.
We updated the site. It's no longer the same site.
But I'm saying, that's crazy to even think like everything is mobile optimized. Like there's not one thing that's not mobile optimized now. But I'm saying like even the website itself has to be to a degree, and it's like that's not. If you hire someone for Facebook ads or for Google ads or for SEO, it's like they can't just do that. Like everything has to be in line because you can drive all the leads to the website, and then if it's crappy, it's like, well, buddy, now you're losing everything there.
Yeah, and
then it passes that point, it gets to the phone call. It's like you're not answering the phone call correctly, and then you drop everyone there. So it's like. It's just this ongoing thing of like,
mediocrity.
You pass this one obstacle, next one, solve that obstacle, pass the next one, all just to book one customer, So let's say with the patients one, so on that one, and another thing with SEO, the way I like to think about it is like since it's organic, so you're not paying money for ads specifically, but you're just paying in time, right? Because it and assuming if you're outsourcing it, maybe whatever. But if I'm doing this in-house internally. It's just time being spent, right? Unless you have labor, whatever. Okay, whatever. So I like to I call it everyone calls it this word, like local SEO domination. I'm gonna try to target as many keywords properly, non-spammy, in the most actual like legit way, value-driven way to do it, because I want this website to be absolutely massive to the point where like. So let's say there's like. If there's 8 keywords that you can target, right? You'll create, or if there's 8, okay, basically for every service, you're going to create your own page, right? But that's like the bare minimum. Like I would try to capitalize on every single thing that I could do to make sure this is like one of the strongest, juiciest, girthiest websites organically, because over time it'll compound. And again, like you're not paying for ads directly. So it's not, you're paying more so like in salary time, not so much ad spend. That I would spend the time making sure this is like the bulkiest website. That way, like over time, everything compounds and it's ranking organically. Because I think the sweetest spot that you can be in is when you have organic leads coming in, and organic, they're typically much higher quality. When you have organic leads coming in, and then you layer that with some form of paid advertisement, that's like the sweet spot. And if you're doing SEO, it just makes sense to run ads, Google ads as well, because those two complement each other so well that I think like that's like the best absolute spot that you can be. And the good side, and I think that's like that's like the 1-2 combination, because you could run Google ads and Facebook ads, but the biggest X factor there is your budget. And assuming you know what you're doing, and if you're not doing it internally,
and at some point you run out of budget, like
yeah.
There's like, just no even this guy, the $25,000 a month, it says limited by budget.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
So. So if you're just running ads, it does get expensive over time for sure, like regardless. But if you layer an organic strategy, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, whatever, but it's organic, it does lower the cost of acquisition per customer if you layer an organic method. Because if you're spending however much in ads and then in agency or internally with someone that you're paying or whatever, go on.
I mean, that's a great point, because the dental client I'm talking about, 90% of his business is from Google ads. Mm-hmm. If he's not spending money, he's not getting specific to that service. He's not getting new clients there. And so his only choice is he thought his only choice was to spend more money. Turns out, it was poorly ran.
Yeah.
But if he had an SEO backbone, he wouldn't freak out like that.
Yeah, because
instead of it being from 50 to 10, it'd be 50 to 30. You know what I mean? Like, it increases, but it doesn't leave you with nothing.
Yeah. And again, like a lot of people want to talk about, like, it's the same way when you think about like multiple sources of income that you want, something from here, things that one. But I'm saying it's multiple sources of leads, because then you never, granted, like with me, like when my website got nuked on the previous episode, if I up like if my website gets nuked, hacked, whatever, 100% of my everything just got killed off, right? Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, SEO got killed off. So in that way, there's still like a. I mean, there's always a sense of it's like if Instagram just shuts down. It's like, well, there goes all my, like so that's why to a degree it helps to diversify, but very strategically because it doesn't make sense to. Like, okay, I'm running.
Let me start a TikTok.
Like I'm doing SEO. Okay, so yeah, TikTok now. It's like, well, or like TikTok ads. It's like, well, I complement those two things and layer Google ads on top of that, right? So it still has to be strategic in the sense of like you're not. It just doesn't make sense.
There's only so much
to
time.
just go left field of like, buddy, just keep on running straight, like you're already there, So that's an important
flyers.
That I know, right? Dude, that's crazy. Yeah. So that's that. Now, what kind of results? So results wise, right? Even with the individual that's spending $25,000 a month, is there much of a difference that you tell that person versus someone that's only spending $800 a month? I mean,
result wise,
whatever wise, yeah. But there's gonna be a slight difference. That is a notable difference.
There is a difference, but I don't think It's all relative
to the amount that you're spending, right? So, if you want to break that down,
so.
Meaning, what does it mean by relative to the amount?
So like if they're spending 25,000, then their hopes is probably to make 100,000. Let's just say as an easy example. I don't actually know their numbers, right? But to them that is normal. That is just like okay, they're because they have way big. It's a dental office. Like they got staff, they got buildings, they got technology, so on and so forth. For a landscaping business, if it's a one-man show, he might spend. I literally have this. He spends $500 a month. He probably gets like 4 customers a month. But that's enough to cover his ad spend and make some. And they're reoccurring for him. So that works out. So it's all relative. Though there's only one goal though. It's like make more than you spend on ads.
At a bare minimum, And on that same point, again, going back to it's not just about the marketing, is that like if that so you might look at it and be like, man, like I only got 4 customers this month and I spent $500, whatever. It's like, yeah, but if you put them on recurring now for that specific kind of business landscape, okay, well now if on average they stay with you for 6 months and you're charging, I don't know, call it $100, whatever, keeping it super simple, $100 a month to mow their lawns 2 times a month. Well, then now that's $600 over, and it's those 4. If that's the average length that someone stays with you, well then 6 times 4, 6, 12, 18, 24, $240. Is it? Mm-hmm. No. What did I just say? Hold on, real quick. I lost my because I'm thinking about the podcast and thinking about I said 6. I mean, what did I say? I said $100 times 6 months, and then that's 4 of them. Oh, $2,400. Yeah, okay. That's a 240. Yeah, 20.
And then they have family members and friends.
Yeah, exactly. And then they capitalize on the referrals, on the word of mouth, getting reviews to build up. So like whatever. It's like that goes a lot. One customer can go a lot further if you know how to implement that, and that's what keeps me away from ever doing like an agency, like a marketing agency, because. Like if I start like an SEO agency, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, SEO or whatever. But then I'm like, yeah, but you could do you could get more money if you like train your staff to answer the phone like this. And it's like, well, that's not what I'm getting paid for, right? And that's it's like, I would like to be like, no, like, hey, let me train your staff because they suck at answering the phone and you don't know how to answer the phone because you're more focused on just doing the dental implants. Right. Like, let me train your team. Like, oh, but then you have to charge for that. And it's like, well, I want to do all that. Like, I can help you with that. Yeah. So. I guess there's agencies where like it's a whole holistic like A to Z kind of thing, right? That kind of makes sense too. But again, it's all at the cost of the client. Like, can you afford all this though? Can you afford someone to go in there and train your staff? Can you afford someone to optimize your like not SEO, but like to redo your website on website? It's like it gets very costly as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything else?
I just had another example. So smaller budget. It's a barbershop. Literally like. Less than $1,000. It brings people in because what is something very frequent. People get haircuts.
Yeah.
There's like death, taxes. Yeah. The next thing's probably haircuts. Like everyone gets haircuts. They're busier. More people find them, and they know that, or the owner knows. They have people there. The owner's like, it's going really well, but if the barbers don't retain them,
they can't. They limit their potential.
It's actually really interesting how like a barber shop owner is in charge of cutting hair, the shop, but also the marketing. So they kind of have this weird role where like, I brought this guy, like, the walk-ins they hand them to people. Like, here you go. This is your customer. For the love of God, keep them. Don't lose them. Do a good job. So some businesses know like, okay, look, we're not spending a lot, but if they keep coming back, it'll keep growing our business. So whether the budget's small or big, it's like it's longer than just the one time.
Yeah. And again, like it's like, yeah, because I've heard that from my barber as well. Of like, yeah, we get, if I have a walk-in, I'll distribute that, or distribute sounds like it's a thing product, but I'll see if one of my other barbers can handle that. And he says the same thing of like, yeah, they just cut it. And like they don't talk to him. They don't like, he'll be like, they don't handle the business cards. They don't do whatever. And then like they don't bring it back for they cut their hair, but like they don't stay there long term. They don't have that incentive of like, oh, I want this customer to come back. I want this guy to come back to me next week or next month or whatever. And boom, like you just like that could easily turn out to be like $300 per year of a customer. And it's like, because you didn't do like some simple things of like just talking or trying to get to know the person or just saying anything, like there you go, boom, lost, gone forever. Actually, another thing I like that you said, I'm actually going to keep on using this, is not in the business of convincing. That's actually fantastic, because I see the comment all the time of like, well, how do I convince someone that they need detailing? How do I convince someone that they need to get ceramic coating? And it's just like, are you in the business of applying a ceramic coating, or are you in the business of convincing someone they need a ceramic coating? We're not in the business of convincing. No one is in the business of convincing.
Those are the annoying people.
And I was about to say that if you're convincing someone, you are that annoying person that they say yes to just because they feel bad to say no. Like that pressure sells things.
Yeah, people will come in here every now and then.
Yeah. Like that solicitate. Yeah, that solicitate, and they're like, "Hey, are you on the phone?" It's like, you don't want to be like, "Get out of here," but it's like they're trying to convince you on why. And it's like, if you're doing things right, whether it's Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, like you're not in the business of convincing. And let me tell you, if you are convincing someone that they need your services, that's going to be such a bad customer. They're not going to be happy. They're not going to tip. It's not going to be a good relationship. They're going to fight you tooth and nail on every single thing. And it's like, because that was not the right person for your services. Like, that's it. There's nothing else beside that. They might pay you whatever, but it's like, that person was not happy. No, go ahead.
You're better off finding 10 people that do want your service than the one person that doesn't.
Yeah, like you can't optimize your business for people that don't want your services.
No, that's hell.
Yeah.
Who would want to do that?
You can't do that. You optimize your business, you grow your business by finding customers that want your services.
Yeah, so for my agency, people will say, "Hey, Cesar, this guy, he doesn't listen to me. I want my boss, he doesn't want to do Google Ads. Can you talk to him? Tell him it works?" I'm like, no.
Yeah.
If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. I'm not here to like convince them. Like, dude, it's 2023.
Yeah.
If you don't think this stuff works, then whatever you're doing is, keep doing that. But
yeah, because
I'm not convincing
at the same time, yeah, when you convince them, it's like you'll convince them at every corner now. Also, why are we doing that? Mm-hmm. Well, look, man, instead of like, if they're sold on the idea of what it is, whatever it is, detailing, landscaping, it doesn't matter. It's like they're more open to the idea. They're willing.
They might have questions and concerns, that makes sense. But if they're more like, well, this doesn't work because I heard on this podcast.
Yeah. Or when they say that, and it's like, and they tell you the person that they listen to, and it's like, oh my God, you're listening to that guy? Like, not in a bad way, but it's like, bro, you gotta have better filters to see like where you're consuming this information.
The worst version of that is when I'll talk to a business owner and they're like, well, I got a couple friends, they got a business like mine and they're doing way better than me. And how come we're not doing as good as them? And I'm like, what is the comparison? Like, who are they? How long have they been in business? Are they better positioned than you? I forgot what my they would say something like, I would ask them, so like, what are they doing? Like, so okay, they're getting a bunch of customers. How are they doing it? Well, I'm not sure. They just tell me they're doing really well.
Yeah. And they're probably all lying too. Like,
it's just a bunch of guys in a room. I'm kicking ass here,
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah,
I'm like, get away from me, dude. Give me some. If you give me some like data, then fine. We can copy a strategy.
Yeah.
If you're telling me they're running Google ads on these search terms, or their best service, or they have a hook, they're doing $99 down to get started, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, we could try that. That's actionable. They're doing something we're not. Well, no shit.
Yeah. That's the same thing that when like someone DMs me like, hey man, like I tried this and that and it's not working like them. It's like, well, it go just exactly what you said. Like, well, what are they doing? And it's like, but the biggest thing is like, you do not know if it's actually working out the way they say it, right? Like, they might say we're doing. Oh my, the amount of people that lie just to not, for whatever reason, I don't know, whatever. But it's like, you don't know how they're actually doing. Like you truly do not know if they're actually doing well. So many people, you know how so many people say like we're doing, buddy. No, you're not, buddy. No, you're not. Yeah, so that's a good thing. We're not here to convince people and this is for anyone across the board. Your agency, detailing services, buying a course, getting a haircut. Like you are not in the business of convincing. You're in the business of serving, right? And you have to find the right people that actually value your services, that actually know what they want, that appreciate and value their head for their haircut, their house for their HVAC, their car to get detailed. But you cannot convince it. You cannot. Oh yeah, I remember those days. All right. Do you want to add anything else? All right. I think let me look at my notes real quick. Not big enough budget. Perform. Different to everyone. Houston. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I guess we'll end it right there. Hopefully you guys learned something. Thank you very much. Bye bye.